What's going on, YouTube friends? What's going on with my Click friends and Patreon? How we all doing today? My friend Jordan sent me, I think it's Josh doing a breakdown of his in-ear rig on TikTok, and I don't know how YouTube likes the TikTok stuff, so I might have to edit out like all the video clips or portions of the video clips and just put in my commentary. But then I'll post the whole video on Patreon as per usual. But anyway, my friend, before we get into the 21 pilots live for today, I wanted to watch this and kind of get like a little bit of a breakdown, a little bit more of behind the scenes of this too, and see if I can kind of explain some things too, if I can make things in I don't want to say layman's terms. Y'all are probably smarter than me, but if I can make it relatable or understanding, right? So let's do this. Let's do this.
I'm going to give you a little taste of what I hear in my in-ears tonight.
So if anyone doesn't know, like there's various ways that you can do monitoring. So one is in-ear monitors. I have mine, like they come in this little case. They're basically just super fancy headphones, and they go in your ears and they block out other sound, and then you can talk to your technician or you can manage it yourself, however, whatever your setup is, but you can have as much or as little of any of the what are called inputs or microphones in your ears individually for everyone. So like if it's a 10-piece band, 12-piece band, 2-piece band, doesn't matter. You can have stuff in your left or your right ear. You can have stuff in your left ear. You can have them separated. Say if you and I were both singers, I could have, say, like 80% my voice and 75% your voice, just so I get a little bit more of my own like room for myself. I could have, say, lots of your guitar because you're on the other side of the stage, but none of my guitar because my guitar amp's right behind me and there is enough bleed or it's loud enough. Maybe I can't hear the toms, but I can hear the kick and snare fine, so I don't need the kick and snare, but maybe the drummer likes the kick and snare, so he wants the kick and snare. There's all kinds of stuff. So one version is in-ear monitors. The other one is like acoustic monitors or floor monitors. And those, they serve like a very different purpose for the same kind of idea. It's still personal monitoring. It's still, you can pick like how much of your voice, how much of my voice, how much of any input. It's just you're adding to the stage volume at that point, and you suffer the limitations of a speaker. That's all. And then like in the studio, there's studio monitors. It's a whole nother world. But anyway, today we're talking about live. So
okay, we've all checked in. We are all ready. And in 3, 2, 1, go out.
Oh, cool. So yeah, so this is click track. So we don't hear the click track, obviously. You don't want to hear the pop, 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 pop. That's just so that him and Tyler can stay on time with each other. So when you have tracks, you have build-ups, you're running around, then you come back in, and everything's on time, right? It's so important. It's so important. And it's good to see because, well, A, you need it to do tracks, but like me, when I played drums, when I considered myself a drummer, I couldn't play to a click track. I would fall off. And just parts, just little tiny, tiny parts of the metronome, but like it still makes it wrong. Still makes it wrong. The normal person probably wouldn't notice, but still makes it wrong, you know? So it sounds like, I would say that probably is the bottom snare that he can hear. So he'd probably have a mic or two on top of the snare drum and another one on the bottom, and it doesn't sound great, right? Like that's not what you want the concert to sound like. But the thing is it cuts. So when you have a lot of stage volume, you have like a band playing, the two of them playing, you got like probably side fills. So another version of monitoring is when you have basically PA speakers blasting at your side, left and right. There's a lot of noise going on, so you need things to cut, and you just have these little tiny headphones, so you don't need a big fat snare drum. You just need to make sure that you can hear it, right? So it sounds like there's a ton of snare drum. The hi-hats are probably bleeding off the snare drum. The kick drum sounds like there's a ton of it. Lots of toms. The cymbals also sound like they're just bleed, like just from other microphones around. They could be these crash cymbals. Like he does have close mics underneath his crash cymbals, so it very well could be that. I doubt it. I just doubt it. Yeah, it might be.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So those voices are very common too, just so that you know, like instead of getting lost in a metronome, it'll keep you on time. So maybe it's a key change, maybe it's a dead stop. It'll say dead stop in 4, 3, 2, 1, and then back into it. And then in your ears, you still get the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go through, right? So that's what that is, just a transition cue. Kick drum sounds great. Tyler wanted us to play the Halo theme song before Jumpsuit every night. That is so cool. I love Halo, man. I spent so many hours playing Halo.
1, 2, 3, 4.
toms sound amazing. Those sound fantastic. Those are little, I think they're DPA microphones. They're really neat. They just have this like spring-loaded thing they clip on, and then it's like preset positions in this little tiny cap, like smaller than a bottle cap. And man, they sound good. Like you hear that? You hear that? It could be replaced, like they do what's called triggering, but I don't know. It could be those toms too.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ah, man. See, there's something about that just gets me hype. It just brings me back, bro. It just brings me back. Oh my God. I love being in this seat.
1, 2, 3, 4.
See, and like he doesn't need to do that, but that's just energy. That's just drumming, right? Like that's probably what he does in rehearsal. It's probably how he practices, and it's energy, right? Like not everyone can hear the click track, so like it adds to that build, right? Oh man, this is a great video. This is a great video.
Who have I not mentioned yet?
So that could have been like, it sounds like they turned the metronome off, and that would just be like if they did like a slow fall off, or like if maybe they change it, because like he can keep time. The thing is, he can keep time well enough, but if the song's done and they're keeping the party going, man, like keep playing. You don't need the track anymore. Like keep playing, like let it end when it ends. So I think that's why there's no click track there. There's no floor monitors, so they're free balling it, we say. Just relying on their in-ears, which is scary, man. You're relying on tech, it is what it is. But I think they have some poser stands up here too. I think that's, unless it's a drum box, some artists used to put like boxes that they could stand on at the front of the stage. We used to call them poser boxes. You can play drums on top of the crowd.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Come on.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Like he's so in time with the metronome, and almost like I almost forget that there's a metronome playing. I almost think it's a part of the song. This is so cool. Yeah, it's perfect though. Like he can fist bump and he can come back to it, and it's perfect the whole time. No one else, like he doesn't have to worry about anyone else. No one has to worry about him because it's the click track. It's the click track. Come on, man, this is so dope. Great video, my friend. I appreciated that so much. That like, if every musician did that, man, like, oh man, that was really cool. I'm almost like a loss for words, but I said enough. So yeah, let's watch the 21 Pilots. Let's do this. What's going on, my YouTube friends? What's going on the Click, man? What's going on Patreon? What are we jumping into, man? I watched it the other day. So if I uploaded it and if it's still on the thing, then it made it to YouTube, which I'm hoping for, and I'm going to speak as if that happened. And if not, I'll just delete the parts that I can't, and I'll have my speaking on top of it. But my friend Jordan sent me a TikTok of Josh going through what it sounds like, not just his in-ear rig, which I thought it was going to be, but what it sounds like in his in-ear rig. So you can hear the transitions, the cues, the click track, how his snare drum sounded ugly as hell in there, but it sounds big and rock and roll over here. Like, a really, really cool video. That's the kind of shit that I want to get into. That's the kind of stuff that I want to break down some more and like do some of my own of. But anyways. So one of the ones they jumped into was Ride, and I started this reaction a minute ago. I got like a minute and a half in. My microphone wasn't on, so I now have since realized that I know the song, but I've just started to appreciate it more because I didn't really listen to it. I guess I was sleeping on it when it was on the radio all the time, and then like just learning what I have from these two, and from Tyler's writing style and everything. It's just like it changed a lot of it. So I'm excited. I'm jumping right back into this one, man. The first minute and a half here, like I said, I did see, but the back bit I didn't. I appreciate the love and support, my friends. Jordan on Patreon. If y'all want to check me out, the link's in the description box. You can send me your requests as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe here on the YouTube channel, or give me the thumbs up if this is if you like this kind of content, these kind of breakdowns. That helps the YouTube channel the most. The thumbs up helps the YouTube channel the most. So I've also got a tip jar. I got a whole bunch of things now. I got a tip jar, but you can't really send requests through there. So if you just want to, if that's your vibe, if you like dropping a buck or whatever, I appreciate the hell out of that. But if you do want to send me requests, I'm going to have a PayPal request thing as well. But that one, it doesn't do that. So I just want to make that very clear. But anyways, let me pull this up so y'all can see. And let's watch this. Playing bass, yeah, okay. So it's neat because like you don't really, if you don't have a piano player to watch, you can't really go, okay, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then start, and then the piano player plays on the upbeat, especially, right? So the drummer starts and then the track begins. So in the in-ear, they would probably, like, I would have had 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, but I think they had 2 rounds of 4. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, ba, so and then it's the same all the time, right? The track comes, the track starts, and it's gonna happen no matter what. So you gotta be on time, and I appreciate the hell out of that, man. This is cool. It's cool to see Tyler playing bass too, man. I think this is, I want to say it's a Fender Mustang, but I think I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong on that.
I just wanna stay in the sun where I find. I know it's hard sometimes. Pieces of peace in the sun's peace of mind. I know it's hard sometimes. Yeah, I think about the end just way too much. But it's fun to fantasize. All my enemies who wouldn't wish who I was. But it's fun to fantasize. Oh.
It's such dope wordplay, I guess. Like, what did he say? I don't like to think of the end, but sometimes it's fun to fantasize. Like that's a heavy bar. He says, what did he say?
But it's fun to fantasize. All my enemies who wouldn't wish who I was.
All the enemies who wish, like they wish they wouldn't be me for a day, but it's fun to fantasize. It's kind of like if that's right, it's kind of like a flex bar, but in the same breath, it's like you couldn't deal with what I deal with and you don't want to, right? So I dig it, man. I dig it. I never caught the lyrics before. I slept on the lyrics, but I dig it. I dig the vibe, dig the message. And I dig that he's bopping and playing bass here.
But it's fun to fantasize. Oh, oh, oh. I'm taking my time on my ride.
Yeah. Look at the lights in the video screen, man. Like what an experience. What an immersive experience.
I'm taking my time on my ride. Taking my time on my ride. I die for you, it's easy to say. We have a list of people that we would take. A bullet for them, a bullet for you, a bullet for everybody. You just a room where they do.
There's so much fun happening here, man. I don't want to interrupt it in the middle of the what is this, like a reggae, almost hip hop kind of section? Come on, man. Is there anything they can't write? But Josh playing the drums here, man, it's neat because so that accent snare, I like that it's a real snare because he's an animal of a drummer and he's actually hitting it quite hard, and I like that. You could hit a digital sample pad and it would sound like you were hitting it hard, but there's something about him just laying into that thing, right? He's also playing a lot of extra with the hi-hats, which you don't need. He doesn't need to keep Tyler on time, but because he's such an active drummer, he's such an entertaining drummer, you kind of need things to keep the energy alive. Because if he just quit playing altogether and it was just organ shots and Tyler's big ass vocal, which we'll talk about, his vocal sounds so good. It would be a little bit more abrasive if you didn't have the hi-hat stuff in between. And plus he's got energy, man. He's got to let it out somehow, right? So I think they're doing a lot of really clever things that are making this whole show very, very immersive. I'm going to keep leaning on that.
Taking my time on my ride.
Immersive. I don't know why I announced that funny. Now I'm being self-conscious. But anyways.
Die for you, it's easy to say. We have a list of people that we would take. A bullet for them, a bullet for you, a bullet for everybody. You just a room where they don't seem to see many bullets coming through. See many bullets coming through. Metaphorically, I'm the man. But literally, I don't know what I do. I live for you. And it's
Metaphorically, I'm the man, but literally, I don't know. Is that what he said? But what I'm liking is this upbeat, the bass. So it's boom, but it's hard to sing along on top of, man. That's some ambidextrous shit. There's some real separation stuff, right? There's a lot of keyboard players or piano players that can play bass as well, because your left hand is doing all the bass stuff on the piano. It's going to do all the bass stuff on a bass too, right? So the translation is cool, but it doesn't make it easier. It doesn't make like movements or motions or actions that are kind of contradicting to each other, it doesn't make them easier, right? So like listen to like where that bass lands and how he's singing. Like they don't compliment each. That's the wrong way of putting it too. They don't lend each other any favors. It's not like he's like do 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 do, and he can just sing along with what he's playing, or just playing like square and singing. Like they compete with each other a little bit, and it's tough. It's like a brain quiz, right?
For you, it's easy to say. We have a list of people that we would take. A bullet for them, a bullet for you, a bullet for everybody. There's a room where they don't seem to see many bullets coming through.
See, like I'm gonna fuck up one or the other, and like whether I know the words or not doesn't matter. I'm still trying to do that. It's tough, bro. It's tough.
It's coming through metaphorically, I'm the man. But literally, I don't know what I do. I live for you, and it's hard to do. Even harder to say when you know it's not true. It's harder to write when you know that tonight there were people back home who try talking to you. You ignore them still. All these questions live for real. Like who would you live for? Who would you die for? And would you ever kill? Oh, oh, oh. I'm taking my time on my ride.
So you see, like, okay, so when I use the word saturation lots, and I'm going to start leaning on a little bit, but I'm going to explain myself a little bit. So, like, this microphone sounds a certain way because I've got it plugged in a certain way, okay? And I'll put some pictures up. But so I've got a little bit of, like, the low end rolled off, so it's not as boomy, right? Like, I could butcher this, I could ruin this, where it starts to sound like this. It just starts sounding weird, right? But like you want it to be nice and crisp. I want you guys to hear me. I want you to hear the nuances that this microphone is going to bring out of my voice. That's why I picked this microphone. That's why he picked that microphone, right? And then I'm assuming, and I'd love to see it behind the scenes of his vocal chain, it's called. So from the microphone that starts the vocal chain, then the cable goes into something called usually a preamp. And the preamp, like if it's a tube preamp, it's just going to make it sound less, the whole setup sound less digital, because you have digital consoles, you have digital like processing, you technically have digital preamps on the console. Like there's all kinds of things that just kind of make it sound not the way you want it to. So then when you start adding, it's like fuel to the fire almost. But then when he comes up to it, you can hear how bright and how like it's got that saturation. It's got like this tone, this warmth to it, even though it's not this part. It's not this kind of warmth. It's got like tube warmth, like guitar amp distorted warm noise and activation and saturation and overtones, and that's the shit that you want. And that's what's going to bring out all the detail and the emotion that we like in his voice, because he has it, but you don't want to lose it in translation, right? And so in the studio you have a little bit more control than in live. You have like a dynamic microphone or a hypercardioid microphone, and you're limited now with a lot really loud stage, right? So I would love to see what his vocal chain is, and I might even try to reach out to a few people and try to find out, because it sounds so nice, it sounds so crisp, and it lends a lot of favors to his voice, favors to his voice, so that we can hear the parts and the things that we want to hear. But anyways.
I'm taking my time on my ride. Taking my time on my ride.
Yeah, sit down. I haven't seen this yet.
I've been thinking too much. I've been thinking too much.
So on the click track, it would have like the beep, 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 beep. And then I'm assuming they would also have, like there would be a voice, an animated voice I think they used, and it would say time change in 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, beep, beep, beep. And it goes into like the new time signature. Or they just leave the metronome and he's just playing free now. But either or.
I've been thinking too much. 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 I've been thinking.
They got it wired up still. So let's talk about this drum kit for a second. So this is a Beta 56. This is called. Yeah, Beta 56. And they come with it must be a really clever one, but they have these little clips for them. Actually, I just happen to have one right here. So like this would go on the tom, and then this would be the microphone, or like this would go on like the stand, and then this would hold the microphone. So then you just have this little thing like this, on the snare drum, on the kick drum, and underneath the ride, and no stands, right? So then you can harness this thing down to this piece of plywood or whatever they're up to, and you still get microphones on it. So that's cool. That's cool. I wasn't sure from the TikTok video how they handled that, right? These are really nice mics. I used to sing into these too because they're like, you can bend them. They have like this 90-degree kind of pivot point. But this is gonna be cool, man. I wasn't sure how they were doing this, but so this is a cable snake. This is where it's probably like a 16 or a 12 unit box where you could plug 12 or 16 microphones into it, but they only probably have 1, 2, maybe 3 just for the situation here because he's gonna go out in the crowd. This is gonna be cool to see from this side though, because I saw it from the other the in-ear version, but I haven't seen it from the live version yet. This is dope. This would have been my job back in the day, bringing all this shit out. Fuck, he's a big guy too, man. He's a big boy. I don't know if there's any crossover from like this audience to the Glorious Sons, man. But like I've had experiences like this with the Glorious Sons, and it's just like I'll remember them for my whole entire life. I'll remember them forever. You know, where like Brett's coming out into the crowd and like he's like leaning on you, you're singing on the microphone with him. He's like getting his sweat on you. Like it's just so cool, bro. It's so cool. I feel for all these people in here, man. This has got to be some of the coolest shit. Even if you can't see it, bro, like you were a part of it. You know what I mean? Like you were a part of it.
So I'm taking my time. Taking my time on my ride. I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride.
Dope, man. That was so cool. That was a real cool section. He handled that well, being on top of like a bunch of people's hands too. You know what I mean? That was real cool, man. What an experience though. Like top to bottom, like they're bringing everyone in. They're plucking at everyone's heartstrings, bro. Like, oh man, that was so cool. Like this whole setup are all their concerts like this? Like are they all like? I'm assuming that they wouldn't just bring the drums out for one, but like this size, this stadium, this kind of like room and stuff. Because like this is really cool, man. This Fox Theater, man, is like exactly what I would want from this band. And I'm sure they could play all the big festivals and stuff like that. But those big stages, I think, take something away. I think it takes something away. This was really, really cool, man. I really appreciated this. As per usual, my friends, keep an eye out. I got the Mute Math ones coming up this week. They're going to be a part of my longer dedicated series that I've been doing a little bit. I'm really looking forward to that one, man. Half an hour. We're gonna stretch that one out. Y'all know. But my friends, see everyone again soon.